Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. A small recovery today for NVIDIA and overall market. So that's a good thing. Let's discuss future price assessment for NVIDIA using technical charts and data analysis. Starting with the daily summary, NVIDIA opened at 103.84. It made a high 107.71. It made a low 100.55 and it closed at 104.25. That is 3.78% up. So not just Nvidia, overall market was up today. Let's take a look at S&P. S&P was up 1.04%, Nasdaq 1.03%, and Dow Jones was up 0.76%. But after hours, you see that Nvidia went down about 2.28%. So that's not a good sign. So one of the reason Nvidia and other AI stocks are down today, I guess it's because of the SMCI earnings that just got released after hours. They missed their earnings. Let's take a look. As you see here on your screen, the actual sales or revenue went up versus the forecast, 5.3 billion versus 5.30 forecast, but earnings went down. Let's take a look, 6.25 dollar per share versus 8.14 dollar per share forecast. It's a big miss. I'm guessing about 20 or 25%. But the good thing is overall sales projections are very good. For the next fiscal year outlook, you see that sales 28 billion forecasted versus the estimated 24 billion. So it's a good thing, overall the demand is strong. So that also tells that Nvidia should also report a strong sales forecast in their earnings as well. But personally speaking, I was not expecting SMCI to miss the earnings that big. So it's no surprise that SMCI shares are down about 13% after hours. You see here? I'm guessing it can go further down because the earnings miss was more than 20%. But after a few days or weeks, I think that it will start going up again because overall sales forecast is good. So maybe it was just a one time hit for the earnings miss. So what's the takeaway for Nvidia? I guess Nvidia in their earnings should also report a good sales projection, but in terms of the earnings, yeah, it could be a question mark. In my opinion, Nvidia should be able to beat the earning, but with not with a very good margin, unlike last quarter. You see that for AMD, the earnings beat was also not very great, just 1.26%, almost 50% down from the last quarter. So these two data points suggest that Nvidia might struggle on posting good earning beat. Moving on, last 5 days, Nvidia down 7.64%, last 1 month, 18.68% down, and last 6 months, Nvidia up 52.81%. So about 35 to 40% down from the all time high. Now let's take a look forward P for Nvidia. Nvidia forward P at this point is 36.43, slightly higher than yesterday, and that's a good sign. Palantir went up from 73 yesterday to 80. And probably you know that yesterday after hours they reported the earnings and they were able to beat the earnings and the sales estimate, and their stocks is up about 10 or 11% today. SMCI 19.98, and this does not include after hours drop of 13%. AMD at this point 37.51. Now let's take a look Nvidia historical price and the trend data. So this graph shows a cumulative percentage change for Nvidia for this quarter. Let me make it little smaller. So at this point, Nvidia is still up 13.2% from the last earnings announcement. And I still expect some volatility on Nvidia stock before earnings. But at the same time, I think that Nvidia should go up about 5 or 6% from here before the earnings. It doesn't mean that it will stay around those percentages, but it should touch about 115 before the earnings. Now let's take a look technical charts, starting with the Fibonacci levels. As we noted yesterday and Friday, the next level of support was 89.7, and I mentioned that is a strong support level, and it won't be easy for Nvidia to break it. So Nvidia went down about 91 yesterday, but it could not break 89. At this point, Nvidia is at 101.55 after hours, and after that the next resistance is 108.26, and after that is 115.88. As I said before, in my opinion, Nvidia should touch 115 level before the earnings. Now let's take a look Bullinger Bands. As you remember, I mentioned a stairs pattern on Nvidia stock chart being formed. Stair number one here, stair number two, stair number three, and now stair number four in the making. But looking at the Bollinger Band overall, I do not see any strong momentum either on the upside or downside. So in the downside, I do not see Nvidia to go below 89 based on the Bollinger Bands, and also on the upper side 115. I think Nvidia should be moving between 115 and 90 in next few days, probably until next week as well. Now, let's talk about some news regarding Nvidia. Let's take a look this one that says Japan's stock market rebounded quickly and left the US behind. So that's a good sign. Asian stock market started to gain some momentum. Now this one looks interesting. That says market sell off challenges Kamala Harris, but her platform could revitalize hard hit sectors. So, another one that's a good thing for Nvidia that says that Nvidia shares are trading higher after New Street Research upgraded the stock from neutral to buy. So, that says announces $120 price target. As I mentioned early in my video, that overall stock market did good today. So it says that US market briefing Wall Street bounces back after global rout. Now let's take a look this one about Taiwan. It says that what's going on with Taiwan semi stock on Tuesday. Let's take a look. So it says that Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing are encountering production issues next gen of NVIDIA's most advanced AI chip. And we should be realistic, right? Going forward in the future, we'll see more and more news about supply issues, supply chain issues, and design issues. I guess that's all about news regarding NVIDIA. I do not see any other significant news at this point. Let's take a look other AI stocks. At this point, the highest positive change we see is on Palantir, that is 10.38%, because they reported very good earnings and the revenue recently. Almost all the AI stocks are positive today except AMD and Apple. But after hours, most of the stocks are down. The highest negative change after hours is on SMCI, that is down about 13%. And at this point, I'm stuck on SMCI. I guess that was not a good buy when I purchased SMCI above 820. And if you remember, over the weekend, I posted SMCI price projections after earnings. My minimum price level was 473. So, and that is my stop loss as well. At this point, SMCI did not touch this level. I'm still watching. I guess that's all about NVIDIA analysis and assessment for rest of the week. So as I mentioned earlier, just to summarize, below 100 for NVIDIA, in my opinion, is a good buy. And regarding my stocks, I do not plan to sell NVIDIA. I'm still holding it. I put my stop loss at 88. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.